What's up, people? Today I'm going to show you how to make this. You might be wondering what's behind me, or you read the title. This is going to be an automatic potion brewer, and at the press of a button, basically if we come to the front here, you're going to be able to press a button and then automatically brew a potion without having to remember any recipes or constantly monitor the potion brewing process. It's going to do it all for you, and then you're going to be able to grab stuff from this chest right here. So let's jump into this. Okay, to get started with this build, what you're first going to do is find an area that's about 26 by 10 by 12. So 12 is going to be the height, 10 being the width, and 26 being the length. It's a fairly large build, but as you can see over there in the distance, that's what it's going to look like when we're complete. So you're going to want to start off first by building about 6 off the ground. So here we're at 6, and then 26 in whatever direction that you want to go. So this is going to be 1, let's see if I can click it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Then when you have that, you're going to want to go ahead and grab your hoppers. You're going to want to place one basically indented from the end, skip 4 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, place one there, then 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, skip another block, then place 3. And so basically what these are is that's going to be basically your modifiers, your gunpowder, your redstone, your glowstone. This is going to be your actual main ingredients. This is going to be your nether wart, and this is going to be your bottles. So now you can actually go ahead and under those, these blocks are only temporary, you're going to place basically hoppers going all the way under this, and this is what's actually going to transport these items. So in total, that's just going to be just about that. This is we're going to add later, but we don't have to worry about it right now. Next, you can go ahead and take your chest, and so for this one where you're putting your nether warts and where you're putting your bottles, the direction that you're putting it actually doesn't matter, but for these you're going to make sure that the chests don't connect and they're each a single chest. Now if you want to bring it out, you can, but the thing is this should be more than enough for most people's needs, and so they shouldn't be connecting, as you can see. And next what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the module so you can actually select something. So I'm going to do that once, and then you guys can go ahead and copy that. So it is going to be 1 block behind. You're going to take a comparator, you're going to need your redstone torch, and you're going to need your redstone lamp. Is there anything else you might need? For now, well, for the first part, that's it. So you're going to take your comparator, and that's what's actually going to tell you how much of an item you have left. So it's going to go into a block. On top of that block, you're going to put a redstone torch. In front of that redstone torch towards the chest, you're going to put another block. On top of the redstone torch, you're going to put a block, and then facing towards the front, another redstone torch. That should turn off. And then in front of that redstone torch, you're going to put a lamp. And so now what that's going to do is whenever this has items in it, it's going to light up, and that's going to tell you when you can actually use the brewer, or when you can actually use that specific item. So now on top of that, you're going to want to put a block, then a redstone torch behind it. You can also take your button right now and place that button, and so that's going to turn off and send a signal. From there, you're going to want your repeaters. You could extend this out by 1, putting 2 repeaters on top of it facing away from the block, so that should be powered. Then a block here, so the repeaters going into it. Then you're going to want to grab your sticky pistons and your observer and put your sticky piston facing downwards, your observer with the face towards the sticky piston. That's going to go into a block with another redstone torch, and then a block basically here, and a repeater facing into the block. And so basically what's going to happen is this is going to send only one signal, powering this off, well, one of these hoppers off, allowing it to take exactly 1 item from the chest. And now you're going to want to continue that all the way down. Actually, only down for these 12. These are going to have a separate system. So I'll be right back. And now that you have that completed, it should look something like this. Let me go ahead and finish this off by putting the buttons, and if you press the button, it should go up and then down. Now basically you're going to want to put some redstone torches behind here, and we're going to hold off on that. Right now we're going to continue these three. Now to start off with, it's going to be the same base as the other chest, except for it's going to be slightly different because we're not actually going to be selecting this because we want it to be as automatic as possible. So again, with the comparator facing away from the chest into a block with a redstone torch, a block in front of those, a block on top of them, redstone torch facing that way, redstone lamp like that. We could leave this blank because there's not actually going to be anything here. This is redstone lamps again, and then on top of that we're going to put blocks. Now you could take your levers, because there's going to be two of them, lever here, and as you can see it's going to turn on and off. From there you're going to take a block here, redstone dust on top of there. Yep, that works. There's going to be a torch behind this one. No, not behind that one. Behind this one, not where the lever is. So it should turn on. Well, it should turn off when it should be, when this light is on. And from there, we're going to take a sticky piston there with a redstone block. Now, one away from that redstone block, we're going to have another sticky piston, like that. And that's going to go into a block. So basically, when this turns on, it's going to turn that one on. Now for the other one, this is slightly different, but not by much. There's going to be two redstone blocks like that. Actually, we can actually, actually, let me just keep saying that. We'll build up blocks like this. We're going to tear that down really quickly, and then put the redstone block. So you're going to have two sticky pistons facing towards the inside of the machine, and then redstone blocks on top of it. You're going to put a redstone dust here, and then one block behind the bottom sticky piston, and then another redstone on top of that block. So now both of these should be powered on. From there, where these are, you're going to take repeater output into blocks, into sticky pistons. Did I mess up? No, I didn't. No, I'm sorry. Into sticky pistons, and then there's going to be a block on each of those. And so now what that does, it's going to allow you to alternate between these. And it tells you exactly which one's on when you want it to. Next, what we're going to want to do is we're going to need to take basically a signal from here. So leaving a 1 block space, we're going to come all the way down 12 blocks in front of each of these redstone torches. We're going to put redstone dust on top of it. So now whenever one of these are pressed, it's going to send a signal to this dust line. Now going in about 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to be able to take a redstone dust signal here, and then we're going to put 4 repeaters and put those all on 4-tick delay. Now essentially what that's doing is it's going to allow you to basically allow these to come after those. So when you're actually brewing a potion, it doesn't matter what order each item goes in. And so now we can put a redstone connection going into them. And we can also put this on 4-tick delay for good measure. And so now you can see when this is on, it's going to be able to send a redstone power to there. So now coming under there, you're going to want to put a sticky piston under all 3, observer, and so now come down by another 2, so there should be a gap into a block. And we're going to be working slightly backwards from this to make sure that we're doing this correctly. So there's going to need to be 3 blocks here, repeaters facing into there, a block basically 2 away like that, with redstone torches going in. And then repeaters going like that. So now when a redstone signal comes in, it's gonna go down here and then send the signal through there. And that's basically how you're gonna add the extra items. Now you could come here and you can actually complete the look of this because we shouldn't be touching this anymore. And this is only for looks, so whenever you see the smooth stone, you can use any decoration block you want. Behind this, I like to leave the blocks to power it on, and I just think that allows you to use like less materials, but that should be good. Next, what we can do is come over here and put a redstone lamp and a lever. We're going to leave that for now, and we're going to come back to it. What we need to do is go behind this where we have our regular items, and we're going to want to count about 6 in. So down here, leave a space between these. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what this is going to be is whenever these are pressed, it's going to send a redstone signal here, and then it's going to come down by 1. Actually, it doesn't come down by 1. Actually, I'll be right back. So it's going to come down by 2. So down one like this, and then another one like this. Just going to go over here into a sticky piston facing upwards, into an observer facing, actually, nope, that was 1 too low. So sticky piston facing upwards like that, and an observer facing upwards like that. So redstone does here, here, repeater here, redstone does here, so it should be a repeater about 3 in. Now we can put a temporary, it's not really temporary, that block's actually going to stay there, into the repeater. These are temporary blocks again. And then we're going to take a sticky piston facing towards that block that we just placed. Now you may have guessed it already, but what we're going to do now is we're going to need to line that up. And so what this is going to do is it's going to turn this on whenever we want it to be on. So we're going to have the negator switch over here. Now in the interest of keeping this compact, what I like to do is use glass to take the signal down. So it's going to be glass here, repeater on top. I do need a block, so there's going to be a block here where the signal is going in. Then glass here, so basically it's going to go 3 down. Then we can put redstone here and here, so when it turns on, that should light up. Now come down here, go down by 1. Now this can be any block, but these 3 right here need to be glass, otherwise the well, it doesn't need to be glass, it just needs to be a transparent block, otherwise the signal won't go through. And now we could come down and just basically match it up here. There should need to be a repeater. That should be enough length for when it turned on for that to actually push this block. And then when it's off, there should be no block there, so that doesn't allow the signal to travel through. And so that's basically this first part completed, and in all honesty, that's most of it completed. So what we could do is going towards the back over here, we can take a signal. So that's going to come out by 2 into an L shape like that. And we should probably complete this first because we can build off of that. So there's going to be exactly what we've been doing before to take the signal out and tell us whether it is empty or not. So comparator going into this block, redstone torch, block in front, block on top, redstone torch there, and a lamp there. A block there, redstone lamp there if you want, and a block on top. You can actually cover this up now because there's nothing that we're going to need behind here. Next is going to be our sticky piston. That's going to be facing downwards from the L shape that we made earlier. into an observer, into a block here, so that should not have anything between that observer and this block. It's going to be on the same level as what we've been doing before. Into a repeater into this block right behind the hopper, and a redstone torch here. So whenever one of these gets pressed, this will actually come first because it just gives it just enough time for it to take an item from here first. Now here we can actually fill the blocks like that because there's going to be nothing there. We can then take one last chest, put it here, and then a hopper going into that chest like that. And I just remembered one of the most important things for this is the brewing stand. I don't have that. That should be great. Okay, so then a brewing stand on top of that hopper, a hopper next to it on its left, and then a hopper on top. And so let's see, what is next? Oh, we can actually now take the hoppers coming from this one and pull it outwards, basically. So you could put a temporary block here just to have them facing into it. So now you're going, probably a little late to say this, but you're going to want to double check to make sure that they're all facing into each other, except for these last ones. They're actually going to be facing towards the back like this. This is just temporary. So I'm just going to double check to make sure everything is looking good, and it is. And so now is the part where I will be, actually this is one too far. Okay, yeah, that's right. Now this is going to go back, I believe that is about 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And make sure that you're not destroying your blocks because those are necessary. So repeat it like that. Now you're going to take a hopper like this, and it should be facing that way. And it's going to be basically the same for this one, except for one in. So that's going to look like this. So that's going to be an L shape, 3 and then 2. Okay, now that you have it looking like this, we're actually almost complete with this. There's only a little bit left, which is going to be the timer and taking the bottle from here. Since we want to take exactly 3, we're actually going to need to do something a little bit special. So what we're about to do is to make things a little bit easier, so for preparation, because it's going to be a little bit harder to get to later on down the line. So there's going to be a block right behind your brewing stand. Under that block there's going to be a torch. Under that torch there's going to be a block. Under that is going to be basically the exact same thing, so another block and then a redstone torch. This is camera signal upwards, and then from there we're going to put a block diagonal like that. And so that's what's actually going to turn this on, so while this is brewing, it doesn't actually allow the bottles to come out from under it. So next, we're going to take our droppers, another thing I did not prepare beforehand. Take one of those, and those are going to face upwards. So in this L shape like this, we're going to take a dropper like that, and then there should actually be one more, so like this. And then we're going to take a hopper and put it like that. That's looking good. And so now for each of these, one of the problems is, like for this one, it doesn't really matter how you do this because order doesn't matter, but for this we want it to be specifically the order of what comes in the hopper. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a block right next to the hopper. Yeah, a block actually under the hopper and next to it. We're going to need the torch. There's going to be a torch right under the hopper. Coming from here, we're going to need about 2 blocks out, and then a block up here. A comparator to take the signal out. A redstone repeater. And then 3 blocks next to it like that. What else do we need? Let's see. A block down like this. basically an L shape, so 4 and then 1 repeater here, and redstone dust like that. So basically when anything comes in here, it's going to power it on, and then it's going to power this, exactly allowing the items to go up and down as it should. From this one though, it's a little bit more simple because we don't actually care what the order is. So there's going to be no block under this one, but there is going to be a comparator facing out like this into a repeater, into a block, into basically redstone dust. The question would be, did I do this right? We can actually test this by placing an item in it. No, I did not. What's weird is this should be working, so let's actually do some quick troubleshooting. Let's make this exactly what I built before, and see if that works. Put a block in there. Still nothing. Oh, don't forget the redstone torch like right there. And so that should be fine. So what that is it's a burnout circuit, and what should happen is this will burn out and flicker really fast, this torch, and so that's going to drop whatever is in there, which shouldn't be more than 3 items when we're done. So now we're going to want to take our glass, and so basically you're going to follow this exactly like this, otherwise items will fall out. So there's going to be a block on top of each, and then next to each of those blocks there's going to be a glass like that. So it should be 3, 2, 3 diagonally. Now you're going to want to take those up. The one on the furthest side is going to go up only to the level here for now. These are going to go up all the way over here. And then you can put glass next to this. Going to close this off. So that's going to be coming in through there. So a block there, like that. Basically you're encompassing it. And like that. So we're not going to add it right away, but there is going to be water in here that's going to, when it brings the items up, it's going to flow into here. Because we're basically finished with the front of this, we're going to close it off because I don't like the way it looks behind here. The redstone over here, beautiful. This, I wish there was an easier way to carry items upwards, but not right now. There's going to be a block here. This is actually going to be necessary later. This one actually has a function unlike most of the other ones. I have blocks here. And so if you actually, just to set it up right now, there's going to be a repeater facing into that block. Now next is going to be our timer circuit. If I remember correctly, it should be about 4 blocks in. Then we're going to use our glass again. It's going to go down 1 like this, and then we're going to just bring it down 5. 4, 5. From there, we can actually use regular blocks. This is only to get the redstone signal down. Like that. Okay, from this block, what we're going to want to do is, under this is going to go down 3, so as you can see, exactly the height we need it. So when you're actually picking your location, you want to make sure it's basically perfect. There's going to be, for now, I believe it should be 5 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this, and we can go ahead and make it 3 wide. There's going to be a sticky piston coming out from this redstone dust. Nope, not sticky piston, a regular piston. But we are going to need the sticky piston. And to gather all the items that I know that we're definitely going to need, I'm going to take a redstone block and the hopper. Actually, you're going to need this block and the hoppers. So, piston, 2 hoppers facing into each other. Gonna want to make sure those tails are like this. Comparator coming outwards like that into this block. Redstone dust. Repeater, so 3 of them. Sticky piston here. observer with a face facing away from you if you're looking inwards, basically. So away from the timer that we're building. And then a regular piston like this. And a redstone block here. It doesn't necessarily need to be here to begin with, but it does help. So basically when you have that, I'm just trying to make sure that there's nothing else that we need. Yeah, there isn't. So we're gonna want to block here, and then, yeah. So it should be 3 and then another, actually, no, like that. 3 and then 4 upwards like that. If I could actually move. Repeater there, redstone dust, like this. So it should never connect with this, otherwise it will mess it up. Redstone dust, and then repeater. So that will turn that one on, turning that one on, blocking this hopper from taking anything. And don't worry about this powering these hoppers, because it will turn off and then allow the items to go through. So now here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add basically 4 stacks of any throwaway item that you want. So I will be using dirt because it is literal dirt. So 4 stacks, and that should give you a timing of just around 2 minutes, which is long enough to brew any potion, no matter what the ingredients are. Okay, and at this point, this is what it should look like, and we're really close to being finished. Just stick with me and we'll almost have it complete. Okay, so now coming from behind, I realized I made a slight mistake. This actually was not necessary. That would mess me up, and hopefully you guys did not follow that to a T. But if you did, don't worry, just knock this off. What's going to happen is we're actually going to need to take a redstone signal from here, and so it's going to be redstone like that. There's actually going to be a sticky piston over here facing away from the glass, observer facing towards the short side. From there, if I do remember correctly, there's going to be a regular piston over here. Under here, we could go ahead and build a platform. It's not really necessary to have it everywhere, but it is going to be useful. For now, you could build it like make it a 4x2. Actually, 5. Next is going to be hoppers facing into each other, just like we did right before. In here, we could do this for now. Put a redstone block on top. We're gonna need just 1 item, and since we're done with the hoppers, we could just put it there. Yeah, we're gonna need these. What do we not need yet? There we go. We're gonna need a regular piston. That's just a temporary block, completely unnecessary. There's going to be an observer coming out from here into a block with a redstone dust right under this observer. That seems to be powered by something. Let me make sure that is that being powered? It really looks like it. Oh yeah, it is, because it should be. That is perfectly fine. So a redstone repeater coming out like this into a sticky piston, into an observer facing towards this piston. And so now what that's going to do is when it is turned on, it's going to take exactly 1 item. It's going to basically transfer the item from here to here, and that is going to give us just enough delay to take 3 items from this chest. But because of the way this works, we're going to have to do something just slightly special in where you're going to need your obsidian. So I'm just going to put a temporary obsidian up here. You might not want to do that if you are not in creative, because it is a pain to break them. There's going to be a piston facing upwards, and then a torch on the side of that. And there we go. Next, what we're going to want to do is we're actually going to want to basically the same circuit that we had been doing before with the comparator. the block, the torch, oops, block, torch, and then lamp. There. And we could build up the rest of this. Put a lamp right here just for good measure, because I do like it when it looks symmetrical. You don't know how much the two here, I was just like, I really wish I could eliminate it, but it's already fairly compact for where it is, and we do save a lot of space. Okay, and as you can see, basically the entire front is complete. So now continuing back here, we're going to need to put the a block under here. We don't need that block. There's going to be a repeater. Now this is going to be slightly different in that we're going to want a block like this, a torch here, and then we're going to need to take the signal from here. So just to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. Okay, yes. Okay, we're gonna come up here like this. Basically, you could just stare upwards. That's not needed, and neither are these two. And there we go. So when that powers on, it's gonna turn this off just long enough to take 3 items. And that's basically the entire system completed for now. But before I forget, we should probably link this up, what we had before. So we're just going to take a redstone dust signal from here. We can take any regular decoration block or temporary block and come out here. Come over here. That looks good. We're going to want to take another redstone signal. These blocks are not necessary. Over here. Now we're going to want to basically ladder up like that. So space, space, shoot, I messed up, so let me redo that. Space, 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 leaving this block down here because there's going to be a repeater going into it. Redstone dust from here, torch in those spaces that you left. Yeah, so when you get to the top, it should not be on. And then redstone dust like this. Again, I just keep forgetting things. We're gonna need to put the water. So I will prefer to come down here because I don't want to mess up the rest of this. Put water in here. Oh no, I still messed it up. Isn't that wonderful? Let's see. So don't do this if you're me. It's just fine. We're gonna want to replace this torch here. And then water in this one. There we go. If you want to, you can block this off. Nope, not with that. I would prefer glass. Yep, like that. And then take the lever, a lever if you want, and you could power these on because they're just gonna stay on constantly. And that's basically it completed. Hey everyone, I just came over here to this other one to show you what a completed one looks like. Now it doesn't need to be exactly like this, but there are some things that you're going to want to keep in mind. So coming over here, you're going to want to have your water bottle or dragon's breath. I don't know, maybe you want lingering potions. You're going to want your nether wart here. This needs to be here. So pufferfish, phantom membrane, turtle shell, magma cream, gas tier, and blaze powder. Those 6 can be in any order in the first 6 slots, but the next 5 need to be the sugar, golden carrot, rabbit's foot, glistening watermelon, and spider eye. Those 5 can be in any direction, but they need to be in the last slot, the last 5 slots. And for the fermented spider eye, that definitely needs to be in the last spot. Otherwise, it won't work. Here you need the gunpowder. Here it could be either the redstone or the glowstone. I prefer to leave the redstone on because that gives you duration and the glowstone gives you basically efficacy. So you can make like a healing potion too. But the thing is, not everyone has that, so it will be a waste and it will clog up the system, which we do not want. Down here, there is one thing I forgot to do. If you see here, this should be on 4 ticks, otherwise it won't work. And for the timing, you might want to put an extra half a stack in there, otherwise it might not complete the actual brewing process. That's going to be a little bit more than we need, but if we come over here and let's say make an invisibility potion, let's make sure that's on, press this button, and we could come over here and see it start to brew. If we take that out. Okay, now that the potions are done, we're gonna have to wait just, and there it goes. The potions went from here into the chest. As you can see, we already have some that were already brewed, and it worked just fine. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this and you find some use. I definitely would recommend building it if you don't like having to constantly brew potions and remember the order of things. But this did take a while to make, so if you could leave a like, subscribe, or even a comment telling me how I can improve this, that would be greatly appreciated. Have a wonderful day.